the Madman! Welcome to the past, present, and future of Paladin, Priest, and Rogue.
I must move quickly.
Lost in the Jungle, really big staple of Odd Paladin. Get off on the board that fast. Just a generally good card. Quest never took off. Hydrologist, good overall card. Saw a lot of play in my mid-range Paladins. And then sees obviously a lot of play in even Paladin. Stegodon was around for quite a bit with the advent of Dude Paladin. That was around before even and odd came about. Lost in the Jungle, Stegodon, Vine Cleaver, Dry Gulch Jailer, all parts of the Dude Paladin. Spike Ridge Steed, nice mid-rangey card that saw a lot of play in a bunch of Paladin decks, even Paladin, and just mid-range Paladin. Even combo Paladin ran the Steed in order to combo with Lanessa, who was also rotating out. Tarim, of course, the strongest card of Paladin, able to equalize the board, equalize being buff your guys, nerf their guys, and be a massive 3/7 taunt. Vine Cleaver, a card that most people thought was going to be too slow, and was until dudes ended up being pretty good. Of course, good enough to even make Odd Paladin, because Odd Paladin ran level up previously. And Dynasize here and there in the even Paladin. Lot of good Paladin cards. Righteous Protector, an amazing 1-mana 1/1 Taunt Divine Shield, over-buffing Argent Squire. Odd Paladin sometimes ran both even, but certainly ran Righteous Protector. Chillblade Champion saw some play sometimes because of Corpse Taker. And Uther of the Ebon Blade was a sleeper for a while. He didn't see much play until finally the tools steadily came in for OTK DK, and then the idea was to bounce the hero power of Uther of the Ebon Blade into your hand and then play all 4 at the same time. And that ended up being a decent deck for a while, especially with Rumble's latest cards. And in Kobolds and Catacombs, they lose the Dry Gulch Jailer, which was in that Dude package. The Dude package was especially good when Call to Arms was 4 mana, before Bakdu and Gen were around. Call to Arms, absolutely insane at 4 mana. At 5 mana was still really, really good. Didn't quite make the cut in Odd Paladin only because you could only summon 1-drops from it, but in just mid-rangey Paladins and Control Paladins and OTK DK Paladins, the Call to Arms brought out so much card draw and filtered your deck. Really strong card. Potion of Heroism, a excellent card that kind of was like Powered Shield, good enough to make the cut in the OTK DK deck because it drew a card. Unidentified Maul, a monster in the Odd Paladin deck, but also just good in the Dude Paladin deck because sometimes you got to get +1 attack or a Divine Shield or whatnot. Crystal Lion, level up, both excellent for the Dude Paladin deck. Valinir, Lanessa. Lanessa so good in concert with Spike Ridge Steed. So with all those great cards rotating out from Paladin, what's in Paladin's future? Well, we have Cathedral Gargoyle, which was played a tiny bit. It's certainly really powerful to play 2-mana 2/2 Divine Shield Taunt, but it relies on having dragons. Maybe this is a setup, and we're finally going to get dragons in the next expansion. Sound the Bells, solid buff. Bellringer Sentry, excellent card in Secret Paladin, makes the entire archetype, so since it's still around, it might still be good enough. We could have some sort of mid-range Paladin with Bellringer Sentry. Last Night, very solid card. And alongside Bellringer Sentry and Secrets, Prince Liam is here to transform your secrets in the late game into legendaries. Silver Sword, surprisingly by the way, saw play an even Paladin, / Dude Paladin even, but probably too slow out of that. And it was only tried, it eventually fell out of style. From Boomsday, we have a bunch of mech-based Glowtron, Anoia Module, Mechano Egg. I think this is probably some of the most likely mech to be played out of all the classes. Kangor's Endless Army on a magnetic Mechano Egg is still potentially good. With a nerf of Equality, Shrink Ray will probably be serving as the role of the control if a control Paladin deck should arise. And there's card draw options with Crystology and Prismatic Lens as well. Rumble really buffers the control types with Flash of Light and High Priest Thekkel. and Shrivala. Maybe a new challenger will be good enough to run now. It was overshadowed previously by all those great Paladin cards, but we have a video done about the new challenger math, and it's not that bad. It's gotta be redone with all the 6-cost minions rotating out, but might be surprised by what the average 6-drop that you discover with the new challenger would be. Could be quite good.
I wonder.
Priest gets hammered. Oof. So we lose the quest. Quest actually saw a bunch of popularity near the end of this expansion because you could Seance Amara. You could also, well, there were finally enough good death rattles as well. Radiant Elemental, a key combo piece of pretty much every combo Priest deck, is rotating out. Glimmer Root, an excellent value card, overshadowed because Priest was more about like super degenerate combos instead of value. Shadow Visions helped in the consistency of those combos going off. Lyra was just generally really good. Free from Amber was excellent in the past with the Spiteful Summoner alongside Mind Control. Just a strong, high-cost spell to include in your deck. Frozen Throne gave Priest even more goodies with the Shadow Essence Eternal Servitude combo, resurrecting big stuff, and also giving you a big stuff Obsidian statue. Shadow Reaper Anduin. There was a good amount of time where Shadow Reaper Anduin and previous expansion Gadget Zans Raza the Chained, when Raza the Chained made your hero power cost 0, that created Machine Gun Priest, which was pretty infamous. But still, even with that gone, Shadow Reaper Anduin still saw a decent amount of play given the destroy all minions with 5 or more attack thing, and the hero power is still a decent boost. And in Kobolds and Catacombs, excellent dragon package with Twilight Acolyte and Duskbreaker, one of the strongest dragons ever printed, both rotating out. And Lesser Diamond Spellstone, one of the stronger spellstones rotating out, resurrecting 4 different friendly minions, so big. Twilight's Call, really good combo with all the death rattles and really efficient quest completer. Unidentified Elixir alongside Shadow Ascent also saw a little bit of play in an early game Priest deck. Gilded Gargoyle, an excellent combo piece in the Resurrect deck. Got to get some coins, collect coins to Malagos, and then Mind Blast your opponent. Spellstone, and then Mind Blast your opponent. And Psychic Scream, so powerful, the hardest removal. Yeah, Priest lost a lot of good options and across all of its archetypes. So what are they getting? Well, the spooky thing is, as I glanced through all of the current sets, I was like, ooh, this is gonna be tough for Priest. All of the cards were kind of played in concert with the previous cards, Vivid Nightmare in the combo decks, Coffin Crasher with the Mechathune deck, but Ticking Abomination is rotating out. Still has a good dragon, but that's about the only card from here that I see that's playable, with Divine Hymn. From Booms, the Topsy-Turvy Test Subject are still around, but the loss of Radiant Elemental means that combo can't go off. Deadringer is still around, but with the loss of the quest, it's not as critical to draw Death Rattle minions. Reckless Experimenter is still around for that combo, but no Ticking Abomination to get set off. Azeric's Cloning Gallery is still around, but there's no Resurrection. And with Rosticon's Rumble, we had the Spirit of the Dead Bonsomdi combo, which never saw play and still looks very bad. We had the Seance, which the target was supposed to be the quest, and the quest is rotating out. So really, what we're left with is Priest has Mass Hysteria, and that is the only reason to currently play Priest. Well, once the rotation happens. So Priest needs to get a lot of goodies. Priest is looking at a very, very tough spot, indeed. Quick aside on Hall of Fame stuff. I happen to have no Glitter Moth. If you do own Glitter Moths, then you're gonna get refunded the 400 dust when the rotation happens. For those of you who don't have Glitter Moth though, you can make more profit by crafting the Golden Glitter Moth, since you get 1600 dust refund and you can disenchant it for 400, which I'm just gonna do now. Value, value. I can't believe I'm crafting 2 Golden Glitter Moths. OP.
I must choose soon.
Rogue also loses a decent amount of stuff in the rotation, notably its very high-powered cards. Throughout the game's last 2 years, there were a few Razor Petal combos with Malagos, with varying degrees of success here and there. Hallucination came in and out as a nice small combo enabler. But most notoriously, didn't see it because I didn't have crafting on, the Caverns Below, a card that got nerfed twice and still saw some play. Excellent with Mimic Pod, and just really created a different valuation system for a lot of the cards in that deck. Very interesting deck. Vile Spineslayer, one of the big value cards rotating out. Valyria the Hollow also featured in that deck from Frozen Throne. Valyria the Hollow didn't really make it into any other deck because Value Rogue wasn't much of a thing. Plague Scientist saw a little bit of play. Leeching Poison, before it got nerfed, saw a lot of play alongside Doomerang with Kingsbane and Cavern Shiny Finder to find the Kingsbane. But all that Kingsbane package is rotating out. And Sonya also rotating out, just a really strong quest card. Play it, play a few more boars, play a few more lifesteal rushy boys. Really, really strong. But these two cards, Elven Minstrel and Faldori Strider, really pushed the power level of Rogue as well. Just 4 mana 3/2 draw 2 and 4 mana 4/4, the potential of being 4 mana 16/16 over the course of the game by getting more ambushes. Just really strong cards. Illusionist saw a little bit of play in combo Malagus. So yeah, Rogue lost a lot of decent cards, but they continued to get good cards over the last year, such as Blink Fox. It's kind of like the Curious Glimmerroot from Priest. We've got the general pickpocket type style cards. Cursed Castaway, an excellent pirate. Tess Greymane, the leader of the pickpocket style of Rogue. So there's Pickpocket Rogue, and more tools provided for Pickpocket Rogue as well. Steel Rogue, Academic Espionage. It also has a strong Death Rattle package still, Necrium Blade and Necrium Vial. It's just waiting for something to be able to activate with those Necrium cards. Pogo Hopper never took off, and I doubt it will take off, even with the next expansion. Here's a decent Death Rattle card to activate with your Necrium. It's still around. Lab Recruiter is still around as a nice 2 mana 3/2 gang up once something is found worthy of being ganged up. And in Rosticon's Rumble, this really set the strong Rogue package going into the next year. We have a strong Pirate, Bloodsail Howler. We have the biggest and strongest card draw Pirate card, Raiding Party. Captain Hooktusk is a huge Captain Leader, and Cannon Barrage in case that's needed in the Pirate Rogue. A lot of the cards that Pirate Rogue has right now are surviving, and Pirate Rogue is going to be one of the strongest archetypes of the next expansion. Just because the base is there right now. And while the Pirate Rogue deck is not great right now, a lot of the good decks are going away, like over 95% of them. So when you have most of one deck still surviving, like that card could stand on the top. And then finally, Rogue does also have the extremely aggressive Myra's Unstable Element for that last second burst. Divine Favor rotated out of Aggro Paladin, so Aggro Rogue now has the strongest possible last minute panic button in Myra's.